What's up guys, welcome to this video. And in this video I want to tell you how I've been able to make money in the internet, but more importantly how I've been able to keep it and how I plan to make more in the future. And I know a lot of people online that they got very good at one business model. They got very confident that at what they were doing. They made a bunch of money, but then they went almost bankrupt. And I've seen it so many times with people I know, with people that I've seen like crazy horror stories online. And this is very common, right? It's nothing like super strange. Naturally, most people, when they start making a lot of money, they start spending a lot of money. And I'm gonna tell you kind of like some mindset hacks or strategies that I've been applying for several years that have worked very well for me. So no, I don't have 50 years of experience, but certainly these strategies that I've used have worked very, very well for me. I've been in the internet marketing industry probably for 6 years, almost 7. And so far it's been pretty good. So the first thing I wanna tell you, something I've done is to never think I have a lot of money, right? Like even if I'm doing well, even if I start making a lot of sales, start growing my income, I never like to believe that, whoa, I'm making a bunch of money, or whoa, I'm very successful, or oh, I'm crushing it. I always like to stay like the same, right? I don't like to think I have a bunch of money. I always like to think that I'm broke, actually, right? I like to believe that I don't have anything, because that way I'm always on offense. I'm never staying comfortable. I'm gonna tell you also, more practically speaking, how I managed to do this. But my mindset is I never have a lot. And that way I never let my success get to my head. And I'm always focused on growing my business. I'm always focusing on providing more value, on growing, rather than getting stuck there believing that, whoa, you made it at a young age. And that's a huge problem. As soon as you start believing that you made it, and as soon as you start believing that you're making a bunch of money, you start going backwards instead of going forward. And you always want to be moving forward, because if you're not moving forward, you're actually moving backward. And the strategy itself that I've applied for years is to never have a lot of money in your checkings account. This is a big mistake, in my opinion. When you have a lot of money in your checkings account available for you to spend with your debit card or with your credit card or to using cash, you just start spending it because it's available to you. So what I've done for years is I've only kept on my checkings account whatever I need to survive, literally, like buy food, like pay for basic expenses. I don't leave money there just to spend, right? If I'm gonna spend on something, I'm gonna go and put it back in the checkings account, but I don't have it like there available to me, at least on a personal side. For my business, I do keep a little bit more, right? Because I wanna be able to grow and spend on more ads and everything. But personally speaking, like on my personal side, I always like to feel like I'm broke, right? Even if I'm not, even if I'm doing well, because that way I'm always moving forward. It's like putting myself in a position of pain and rather than in a position of pleasure. And I know this might sound a little bit like crazy or drastic, but I don't know, like it's crazy. I've seen so many people make a bunch of money like in like money online or money with network marketing. And as soon as they start making money, they start buying Gucci's, they start buying Lambos, they start getting debt for Lamborghinis, and then they start making all these crazy, excuses like, oh no, I'm gonna get debt, I'm gonna pay only $2,000, $3,000 per month for the Lambo, and I'm gonna be able to drive a $200,000 car for $60,000. Then I'm gonna give it back to the agency, and then I'm gonna get another one, so it's gonna be very cheap. And you're like, this is like the worst formula to accumulate wealth for the long term. And I don't have to have 50 years of experience to know this. This is like, if you apply the proven principles to be broke, you're gonna be broke. If you apply the proven principles to be wealthy, you're gonna be wealthy, right? So you can learn these things from Warren Buffett, from the richest people in the world. So what I've done personally is, even if I closed a $20,000 deal, or I made $100,000 or whatever the amount is, I always stay the same. My mindset stays the same. I always feel like I'm broke. I always feel like I need to go forward. I always feel like someone is chasing me and that is going to take everything away from me. I'm always on offense mode. If the moment I start getting comfortable, I start going backwards. And if I'm not comfortable, I'm moving forward. If you're moving and if you're staying in one single place, you're actually going backwards. Now, the next thing I want to tell you is that something I did is that in the beginning, I just pushed all my profits away. I didn't keep them in my checkings account. If not, I would spend them and I wouldn't know what to do with them. So I just pushed the money away, pushed the money aside somewhere else. And I didn't want to invest it back then because I had no clue on how to invest it. I didn't know anything about real estate, anything about the stock market. I didn't know anything about anything, right? I just knew how to make sales online. I was very good at that, but I was not good at investing. So I preferred to wait to a point where I felt more confident with myself. So for several years, I just saved money. And later on, I started looking like into real estate, looking at deals. I never really bought many courses. I actually never bought a course in real estate. I bought a few books. But I started learning a lot just by seeing properties. And one day I saw a deal that made sense for me. The numbers were just good. I felt it was a good opportunity. And then I went all in on that deal. And to not make the story very, very long, that was my very first real estate investment. And from there, I started learning a lot. And for now, real estate is making a bunch more sense for me, and now I'm in a position to invest in real estate, but because I saved money for several years and because I was not spending it on cars and this and that. So you want to be investing your money. Now, some things that I've done to invest my money, and this is probably a good topic for another video, but I've invested in real estate. And I've also invested in the stock market, but I don't do like day trading. I don't try to time the market. I'm just investing on companies and on index funds for the long term, 20 years, 30 years. I'm seeing the stock market as investing in real estate, in properties, rather than trying to buy low and sell high and try to time the market. I don't do any of that stuff. Everything I do is long term, not short term. So pretty much, it hasn't been really complicated for me. It has just been about being disciplined with myself, modeling the habits of very, very wealthy people rather than the habits of people that make money and then lose it. Because in the end of the day, there's principles that make you lose money and stay broke. There's principles that allow you to be wealthy. Principles that people like Warren Buffett teach and these very, very successful entrepreneurs. So I prefer to model these principles. And if I feel I don't have enough knowledge on something, then I prefer to wait, not take action on that until I'm in a position where I know more and I feel more confident with myself. That's the same thing I did with real estate, for instance. I didn't, as soon as I started making money, I didn't say, whoa, I need to invest it because now I have. I waited until I was like in a better position, like I had more knowledge, I had seen more deals before investing. So that's pretty much what I've done. I've always focused on growing my business, providing value, focusing on growing my income. I've always pushed the money aside. I've always had I've always stayed broke. I've never had more money than I need. I have percentages for everything, for percentages to spend on fun, percentages to spend on trips. For instance, this year I was supposed to go to Canada to ride my bike. This trip usually, I don't know, it's gonna be like $5,000 or so, right? Typically this is what it cost me. This year I didn't make the trip because of freaking coronavirus, right? Maybe next year. But I said, you know what, I still have my budget for fun. And what I did is I bought a pretty expensive bike for most people. I'm not gonna say prices, but it's pretty expensive. And for me, it just makes sense because it's within my percentage, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying examples. Like I like to stay organized, use percentages, know where every penny is going. Just because you're making more money doesn't mean you shouldn't be organized. invest in things that have been proven to be successful over time, like real estate, like investing on companies. Do your research, learn. It's a process. You won't learn all of this stuff overnight. But generally speaking, the reason that I've been able to just keep growing my net worth over the years is because I've always been responsible with my money, and I've never been just buying, making impulsive decisions. I've made a few impulsive decisions that have gone wrong, like getting a car leasing, which was probably my worst financial decision I made. But now that I understood, I gave up my car, and that's never gonna happen again. But things like that. Hopefully it makes sense. My advice for you is, if you start making good money, just push it away. Also reinvest it on your business, right? Push it away, save it, reinvest it, be smart with it. Don't overspend, don't increase your lifestyle just because you're making more money. Keep your lifestyle the same. You're not gonna die, nothing is gonna happen. Keep your lifestyle the same for several years, and later on you can start increasing once it makes sense. But don't replace the money that you could be investing just to get luxuries, because in the end you have to start from scratch every year if you don't invest. You need to be investing to a point where you can be making enough passive income, growing your net worth. There's multiple ways. It's not set in stone, but it's just applying the principles. So to not make this super long or longer, that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to work with me, go to workwithsebastian.com. or click on the link in this above or below this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.